Hello everyone, welcome to Ostrava, Czech Republic, week number 2 on the ISU Junior Grand Prix Paris Short program coming up in just a few moments. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Conradi. Now last week, Mark, we saw really an outstanding performance by the champions.
Yes, the Chinese team of Zhang and Huang were quite brilliant, and it just is really exciting to think what is going to happen over the remainder of this Junior Grand Prix series.
It's quite incredible how strong the pairs discipline has become over the past 2 years. We're really excited about that. 15 teams will take to the ice as the Paris Short program begins right now. Welcome back, everyone, to Ostrava, Czech Republic. Day 1 of competition. We've just completed the men's short program. Up next, Mark Conradi, there will be the pairs short. And as we talked about in the opening last week, there was a good, strong group of pairs. Of course, the champions were absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, and it's also particularly exciting, not just that there are 15 pairs competing here in Ostrava in the pairs discipline, but also that they represent 13 different skating nations. And that just gives us hope and confidence as we see the judges and officials for this event about the continuation of the pairs discipline in those respective countries. So obviously if there's representation from other rinks, then we can only hope that will transcend to the next generation and down towards the novice competitors as well. And as we see the warm-up and the first 3 teams taking to the ice, we can just glance over the requirements for the junior pairs this year. So it will be a group 4 lift and a hand-to-hand takeoff lift. It will be a twist lift. The throw jump has to be double or triple salcho, and the solo jump for the junior pairs will be a double flip or a double axel. So we can expect some of the more competitive teams to be trying side-by-side double axel, and then maybe some that will be lower down the standings going for the lower base value of double flip. As we see Deborah Anna Cohen and Lukas Forszoska will open the event there, the British team.
It's so good to see so many teams, doing well. I mean, there was a couple years there where the teams were really in the early stages of development, but we see that maturity and that growth and the development of more difficult elements happening in every one of the pair events. So that's good news. We will see some developing young teams here that'll have a few more challenges perhaps, but we don't know this whole field, so it's going to be an unveiling, if you will.
Yeah, and certainly in the 2 years previous to this one that I was joining you, Ted, on the Junior Grand Prix, I heard quite repeatedly from coaches and those involved in this amazing discipline, just acknowledgement that the COVID pandemic did have a big impact upon this pairs event, because obviously skaters were not able to be in close contact, skating opportunities were limited, and so now we seem to see the resurgence of more and more pairs, as we see Deborah Anna Cohen, who's explained to me the amazing story behind the program that they have. They're using in their short program music of the teenage series Euphoria, which is an American TV show. And she explained that Ilya Malin used it a couple of years ago, so she's obviously part of that, perhaps inspired by the Quad God's use of it. And she said it's about a teenage girl that's addicted to drugs, and that's why her hair is a bit crazy. And then she said, but at the same time, it's inspired one of the characters from the show. And the reason why she's all glittery is because the vibe of the show is very sparkly, and her makeup is a recreation of the very famous look of Rue, the main character.
Awesome.
So, just
Great.
showing. Normally, we think of the ice dancers as being so committed to their
yeah, exactly.
costuming, but
You're liking that, aren't you?
yeah,
So-
pair skaters embracing their costuming.
And any other questions sent in?
Yes, many thanks to those of you that have sent in
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
questions to the International Skating Union, and this is an opportunity for us to again open the forum for more questions. Those of you that have any aspiration for further intel, some of the questions that have come in have obviously come from skaters that really know, or fans that really know the sport, and then there are other questions which indicate perhaps people that are less aware of the intricacies of our crazy and wondrous world of ice skating. And one of the questions, on a scale of 1 to my Wi-Fi is out, how nervous do you think the skater feels before a big jump? And I mean, if your Wi-Fi was out, I mean, that, particularly for us in the commentary booth, would be utterly horrific.
Okay, we'll read that question again.
So on a scale of 1 to
My Wi-Fi is on.
my Wi-Fi is out, how nervous do you think the skaters feel before the big jump in their program? So if you're
I don't think they actually feel nervous in the program. I think they feel nervous before that music starts, knowing that element's coming up. But I think once you're sort of motor skills and you're traveling across the ice, you got to go for it. I mean, they're tight. They're probably nervous as well. But
it's interesting, actually, when we watched the men's event that's just taken place, I think it was this. Let me just check the event results as to who it was, but there was definitely a junior man who stepped out of the double axel and stepped out of the triple salto. I think it was the Spaniard, actually, or the Andorran representative, Raul Garcia Shibanskaya. And I just saw, having seen them in practice, where they'd been very comfortable in the delivery of the jump combination, just almost I could feel their jittery, adrenaline-inspired, fueled legs, which just prevent the skater from sticking the landing, from being committed.
Yeah, that's true. And as we talked about, many of these juniors are trying new, difficult elements in the Junior Grand Prix to, set themselves up for nationals and whatnot. So they're going to be nervous of a new element. You don't see that so much in seniors as much.
Yeah, they're more established. And it's interesting, some of the skaters have explained to me, maybe when they first landed their first triple, or when they landed their most difficult recent acquisition to their tech score, and often it can be that the skaters had the jump in their practice for 3 years, but there's one thing having it independent in practice, but then another thing entirely having it within the context of the program.
Having said that, to answer the question, I don't think nearly as bad as, oh my gosh, my Wi-Fi's up.
Oh, jeez. I remember, I don't know if it was on the Senior Grand Prix last year, and I was commentating from home, and my Wi-Fi didn't play ball, and the anxiety that I felt was quite extreme.
Okay, so, so they're all good. What's up next?
Now, just chance to chat about some of the skaters. So the skater on your screen now, Zara Wood, the daughter of Zoe Jones, a former British champion, and we in the commentary booth are next to the corridor where the skaters line up, and it's just, we cannot underestimate the anxiety that the coaches who double up as parents must feel.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Well, it's a nice connection between Deborah Anacon and Lukasz Wojcicka. And so we have just heard a little bit about the amazing costumes, makeup and hair. A team like some of the men that competed in the first competition of the day, who have already performed on the Junior Grand Prix, having competed a week ago in Riga. Deborah Anacone and Lukáš Vršočka representing the Czech Republic, sharing a hug, and they'd explained that they were so disappointed to have had the performance that they did in Riga after all the hard work of the off-season, as we see some other members of the Czech team supporting them ringside. And I think it's better.
The core, the basic core of pair skating with this team is very strong. It's really good. You know, they had some, the throw triple salchow is really nice. They were over-rotated. And, you know, they're still working through some of those things, but they're both strong single skaters. He's a very strong lifter. It's really good. So it's just mileage. It's just experience. But the basic core of this team is good.
Yes, and they fell on the throw triple salchow. There was a fall on the throw triple salchow last week. Not optimal today, but better. Just looking at the flying camel combo spin, Ted, I was checking some stats as that happened, but that's gone in as no value. So just have to assess what happened there.
What happened there, exactly. Level 2 twist, so 2 out of the 4 features there. Here's the triple salchow. Watch, doesn't stop the rotation early enough, continues to turn on the landing, has to put the other foot down as well, landing on 2 feet. There's the double axles hanging onto that landing as best she can. And there's that group 4 lift and a spread eagle. Difficult entry. There's the change of position and the change of hold. And pretty good flow through that, a little bit choppy on the turns, but still pretty good. And that spin, or that lift comes in at level 4, all 4 features achieved.
And delighted to see that the flying camel combo spin has gone back in the system.
Yeah, okay,
so
good.
Phew, relief. Back outside Death Spiral, the edge necessary for juniors this year, and for many the most difficult edge to hold on the Death Spiral. Their coach Peter Bedard doubles up as coach and choreographer, and I love the fact that they've taken this idea and the theme from Euphoria and run with it and hopefully enjoyed it, making sure that the...
Yeah, cool idea to have a story. I mean, I love that. We may not always know the stories of the athletes when they put their programs together, but to know them a little bit gives you a little bit more in depth as to why the hairdo, why the costumes, why the skating.
And then hopefully then the judges in turn can connect more and more, and they want to see the skaters' commitment and involvement based on an understanding of the music. And so, we, maybe because they told me, I have a greater appreciation for their commitment and involvement based on the understanding of the music.
I've always felt that skaters should be able to, or should put on their plan program sheet what their story is, what the theme is. I think it would add a lot for the audience to have that information, but it's not required. It's not important because some people don't actually have a story. They're skating to music, and that's it.
But in an ideal world, the skater will move us to feel something. If you're a judge, then that helps you to give higher presentation and composition components. And if you're an audience member, then it's going to be you're more inclined to potentially get work as a performer in the future.
So wait for their scores. I don't see that. Oh, there it is. And 9 out of the 10 judges have their scores in.
The scores, please.
And here they are. First team out in the pair short program from the Czech Republic. Deborah Ann and Lukáš.
Deborah and Lukáš have earned in the
and a 45.16. That's the season's best. So they're happy with that. That's better than last week in the Junior Grand Prix in Riga. They're the first team out in this event.
On the ice, representing Germany, Alia Ackermann, Tobias Barnes.
And now to the team representing Germany, Alia Ackermann and Tobias Arms.
41.97, their personal best in Junior Worlds last season. They're skating to Singing in the Rain and putting on the Reds.
Great to see Alia Ackermann and Tobias Arms showcasing the hard work that they have put through in the off-season, showing twist for the first time at this event.
Yeah, the triple twist comes in at level 1, but the basic mechanics are pretty good. Good height, good, spin on top.
And I have to say again,
only one element under review. That's good.
Yeah, really good.
Sorry,
Benjamin Stefan listed as one of the choreographers, and you can see the ice dance influence both through the holds and the intricacies of some of the transitions. And there was, again, as we saw already, a clear idea of theme for this pair short program, like the team from the Czech Republic who have started the event.
And this was just a little cautious, of course. It's just, early stages of development. So not a lot of speed and flow. He's being safe and careful, which is exactly what they should be doing as they're learning these new lifts. This back outside death bar required element, pretty good. Doesn't get all the way around on one. Maybe they squeaked at one revolution. Let's take a look. It is in base level, so not level 1. And here's the double flips. These were nicely done.
And the composition of the program was interesting insofar as they put the group 4 lift early, put the back outside death spiral early before they're thrown before the side-by-sides. Now, we should probably acknowledge Nolan Seeger is here with them. their primary coach, Florian Just, well, his partner's expecting a baby, and so that's why he's not here. So we send all our best wishes to them.
Absolutely. Kind of an important
Rather, I
moment
think
in
that
life.
wouldn't go down so well if he wasn't in attendance for that. So.
Yeah, no. Oh, they look pretty pleased in the kiss and cry with that performance, and it's a good start to the season.
Well, I remember their participation at the previous Junior Grand Prix, and I can see that there's definitely been improvement made.
Yeah, totally. You know, it's difficult as you plan out your whole year, what you focus on and when. And then you get into competition, it's hard to keep growing. 40.15 for Alaya and Tobias, and that'll put them currently into second place, second team out in this event.
Well, fascinating story here for Zara Wood and Alex Lapsky. I'm not sure, I need to check the archives, but I'm not sure if we've ever had a participant at a Junior Grand Prix in ice dance, then come back to the Junior Grand Prix in the pairs discipline. It's often happened the other way around, perhaps, but that is the case for this team, who will also skate to Sing Sing Sing. Year-old Zara Wood and 21-year-old Alex Lapsky, and we saw them not long before the event started, and they said that, you know, in asking about whether or not it was better to be an ice dancer at Junior Grand Prix or pair skater, he said, well, the partnership really matters, and it was an inadvertent appreciation of Alex's gratitude to have Zara as his partner, and I thought that was quite special.
Absolutely, she's pretty special. I tell you, she loves this, and you can see it. She's gutsy. That throw triple salcho, that was a swish.
Yeah.
That was great. And this team didn't have a lot of time to prepare, right? I mean,
oh my goodness, no, he, I said, was an ice dancer, so that, and then after they teamed up, he had to have knee surgery, so they were out for 5 months. Then their rink was flooded, closed for 8 months, and so they haven't had optimal training time at all.
Well, she gets the double axel all the way around. He unfortunately slips off that takeoff or off the landing edge. Here's the twist, and there's the steps going in, the split, and that was really nerve-wracking because he looked like he was slipping back. Same thing on this lift a little bit. There's a very fine balance point behind the picks, not too far back in the blade. You'll see a little loss of balance right here, right there, as you can see that foot slip away. You want to keep away from the heels, that's for sure. If you're going to do anything wrong, you're better to be forward close to the picks, as you can control it a lot more. Watch this though. This throw, triple salchow, beautiful. Straight in the air, right on top. Great check out, great extension.
And you know what's amazing? Like, obviously Alex is a great performer thanks to his, in part, I'm sure, his ice dance experience. But Zara, absolutely, you would have mistook her for an ice dance performer based on her ability to exude the smile that was necessary for the music. Also, shout out to another member of their team, Lloyd Jones, who is an Olympic level ice dancer who's used some great transitional content.
And also, her mom, Zoe, she actually skated in pairs at the World Championships, older than Diana Dudek.
Dudek.
Yeah, exactly.
Zoe,
40.
mom and coach, she was British champion as a single skater, then had a huge absence of time, had 3 children, and then came back to different discipline with their other coach, Chris Boyadji, and competed again at World Championships. So
at what age?
I don't want to get it wrong, Zoe, but she was over 40. She was older than Diana.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
So when you get an inspiring mom like that, you're in good hands.
And now she has her daughter in the competition. 39.46, and that puts Zara and Alex currently into 3rd place. But good job, good start on a short season so far. Cheerful personality. It's great.
Brilliant.
Charming.
The following skaters may not take the ice for their warm-up. From France, Roman Telemann, Luca Coulon. From Hungary, Donna Maria Lopez, Moses Joseph Pereira. From Japan,
And so the next 4 teams take to the ice. And again, further participation from skaters who competed last week in Riga, then come to Ostrava. And obviously, as we look at that team in particular, Rohan Telemaque and Lucas Coulon, who I actually sure were on the same flight back from Riga. I had a connection in Paris, and they were traveling to Paris airport. They explained that they had just then really one training day back in their home before returning here, and so thus they won't have had the chance to make any changes. There will not be, any significant developments in regards to their plan, but hopefully the experience of the competition will fire up that competitive spirit, and they can push a little bit more with the confidence that they've gained from what for them was a really good event.
Maybe just an inch ahead in quality, some of the items. Now they're a little bit more comfortable. They've had their first Junior Grand Prix under their belt, and maybe they feel hopefully a little bit more comfortable as they move into this event. Looking for questions.
And also some further intel as ever. And actually, this is I haven't mentioned this today on this first day of the 2nd Junior Grand Prix. We're really very eager to represent the skaters, not just as skaters, but as people. And as we look at the Japanese team of, say, Shimizu and Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda, I was eager to just check the stats of this team because both of them have achieved some great feats as singles skaters in the past. And I think you could see that immediately just in the way in which they conduct their backwards crossovers. He was as high as 10th and she 18th at senior singles nationals in Japan just last December.
Both in senior.
Both in senior.
Wow. Yeah. That's a good base to start with.
Amazing. And also, as we talk about senior versus junior, we haven't discussed yet the adaptation, the changes and the tweaks to the age restrictions in junior pairs.
Let's mention that, and especially that 7-year spread.
Yeah, that's a good point. This year, the men in the junior pairs category can now, previously they had to be under the age of 21 by July the 1st of the year. Now they can be up to under the age of 23 by July the 1st of this year. And the women is older now too, at 21. And that offers the skaters potentially more experience in this pairs discipline before making the climb up to the senior ranks.
But the age range.
Yes, now there is a further stipulation that the teams cannot have more than a 7-year age gap between partners. And as we look at the Hungarian team, I'm not sure exactly the age spread between them, but it's certainly now another factor to be considered in the formation of teams.
Yeah. That group 4 lift coming down the ice right in front of the judges. Great turned out toes. There's the change of position, change of hold as well. Really good turns and good flow across the ice. Was a nice group 4 lift.
Just the assessment of that. And for that team of Romain Telemaque and Lucas Coulon, they're now here with a different coach. Their primary coach, Emily, Romain's mother, she is heading to Bergamo for the Challenger event there. So, as is often the case, the coaches of these standard of skaters are all over the world.
And now we start getting
students
into the heavy competitive part of the season. Of course, Junior Grand Prix usually starts it with 1 or 2 weeks of, just be by themselves. But now we have all these other competitions coming in. The coaches are spread around the world, and the viewers and the fans around have a lot more to watch.
And that, at the moment, particularly in the pairs discipline, there was a pretty big event, the John Nicks Memorial Trophy, that took place in New York City. And that event had 15 senior pair teams, and it was won by Ellie Cam and Danny O'Shea, who competed at the World Championships representing the United States of America. And they had just in second place Elisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov, a newish team. The Canadians were Kellyanne Lochin and Lucas Etier, who were fourth. They were at Worlds, and they came fourth at this event. And I think their coach, Stephanie Valois, is here with her junior team. So again, further confirmation that the coaches have students all over the world.
It's interesting, the coaches have we were talking about the coaching profession. The coaching teams, when they have a lot of international competitors, it's harder for them to continue to develop the skills in the competitive season because they are not there.
Yeah.
They have a team at home, but it's difficult. The work gets done in the spring and in the summer to lead into the next. Then it's just execution of competitions. Not fully, but mostly. And so it's a challenge.
And the other factor which I've heard from some of the other coaches and the skaters is the reference of the injuries which can adversely affect the off-season. So when especially perhaps the junior teams, are attempting newer elements of high risk value, of course then the risk for injury is increased, but that then in turn can impact upon their training time. So it's that fine line of staying healthy versus attempting increased difficulty elements.
You have to really monitor the elements for the women in the throws. Same thing in the jumps of the quads, or the triple axis for the women. It's really important to, to spread out that physicality, if you will, so that you're learning and solidifying them, but at the same time you're not damaging yourself.
And that could be a factor in the age change this year for the juniors, just offering the further development of the body for the athlete before they load more with increased difficulty as a senior program requires.
Here we go, group number 2 in the pairs short program.
On the ice, representing France, Romain Telemaque, Lucas Coulon.
So they had a great outing last week, Romain Telemaque and Lucas Coulon. They will be hoping for even better here in Ostrava as they skate to Fever and Jailhouse Rock by Elvis Presley. Well, they had a great short program last week, and I think, as you said in the warm-up, Ted, just the confidence of another competitive experience under their belt seems to have served them particularly in the program components.
Yeah, in this case, the strategy of back-to-back appears to have worked,
Yeah.
rather well, because you can really take the confidence or what you needed to learn or improve, even in just a day off, right, or a day in practice session. They feel, okay, I remember what the feeling is like to compete because I just did it last week, so I'm comfortable with it, right? So really great job here.
And even just on like the back crossovers, they just seem that little bit more commitment to the push and to the stroke.
And there is the double twist. That's in at a level 2. So 2 out of the 4 features. This is just amazing. Watch this throw triple Salchow. Picture perfect on the landing. The speed. Just the checkout was awesome.
And performing to the judges wonderfully.
Really great. Here's the double flips. No problem. This is in good unison as well. And they're going to want to increase the degree of difficulty of their solo jump, of course. But you can see that they're both very fine skaters at this coming time.
Well, impressive to see a level 4 step sequence assigned to the team. So that confirmation that their quality of turns was deemed good by the tech panel here.
Good turning. Good flow. You don't see any snow. Good momentum across the ice. Great job by Luca.
The back outside death spiral now. Last week they had a level 2, and it's coming in this week. Same again.
Don't remember pushing the button for that replay. So this could go right to the end here. I think it does.
And they had explained that they were happy and proud of their performance in Riga. And so, well done for them delivering even more.
Yeah, and their personal best and season's best 46.58. I think they're going to beat that here.
Interesting that last week their personal best was from World Juniors. They got the exact same last week. So now I'm glad to see that it's going to go up.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was from last week. Yeah. Numbers. Short program score, it's season's best, 49.83. All 4 a thrill.
Yes.
Progress made, experience gained. And now the Junior Grand Prix for this year, at least, is done. But we'll see. Have to wait for the final standings.
Yeah.
Next to skate representing Hungary, Nora Marlene Rothenberg.
And now to the next team representing Hungary, Nora Marlene Rothenberg and Moses Joseph Barai. Skating to I Made It by Tones and I.
looking to beat their 42.28 personal best from last year at the Junior World Championship.
When I was young, I tried to build a paper plane, but mom told me no. My parents sat me down and they tried to explain I had some time to go. But I stayed up all night until I died in the morning and screamed like I made it. When I was young, I tried to build a paper plane, but my head told me no. But I know I was special. And when I didn't believe, I remember the moment when my parents waited for me. 'Cause I made it, yeah, I made it. Oh, I made it. Yes, I made it. Sometimes I think about why we do what we do, and the world tells us no. And even though I'm scared, I know that I'm ready. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. So when I think about why I do what I do, it's everything. And I was special, and when I didn't believe, I remember the moment when my parents waited for me. And knew I had a daughter, the ones that didn't believe. I could sail away and live my see. Oh, 'cause I made it, yeah, I made it. Oh, I made it. Yes, I made it.
Oh, what wonderful music choice. We made it for
Yeah,
a pair team.
really, really nice. This team seems destined. They're a really good match together. It's early on, no question, in their development, but
And, part of me wants to just acknowledge how wonderful it is that they have found each other. The formation of a pair team is tricky, it's challenging, and kudos to the team. But I think what will be of a huge advantage to this couple is the fact that they have Severin Kiefer and Miriam Ziegler as their coaches. So they've got an amazing coaching staff who can demonstrate both the male pair aspect, female pair aspects, and just be a great inspiration to them in demonstrating everything.
And there's the double twist, good split, pretty good catches in level 2, so getting to the features, no difficult entry on that. Here are the double flips. Look at nice, straight, strong backs. Both of them have wonderful positions, pointed toes and stretch free legs. And here is this.
Great. This was really high grade of execution.
Yeah. And this is in at a level 4 of difficulty, of course, with a plus 0.73 GOE. So really good score on this. Look at the flow across the ice on the end of the rink. Just absolutely effortless.
And changing position without hesitation, and the amount of ice coverage there.
Yeah, it was really
forces
fantastic.
good GOE.
And this throw double sock up, but watch her hold on. Keeps the free leg off the ice and just rides that edge. Great fight. And after a problem in the first side of this spin, oh, I guess I missed part of it. Okay, here's the back outside
she
death
did an
spiral.
amazing
Yeah.
job at hanging on.
And this is the back outside death spiral in early development, so just getting a base level on the back outside death spiral to finish the program. But nice looking young team. Nice job here this afternoon.
And they train at their training center in Salzburg with 3 other pairs and international level singles skaters. So they've got great inspiration, not just from the coaches, but from the other teams that they train with. And I just think it's so exciting to hear of another hotbed of pairs training to push the sport in that part of the world.
It's really exciting, the number of pairs that are coming up in junior. 42.80 for Nora and Moses. That'll put them currently into 3rd place. And it seems to be pretty happy, the Kiss and Cry, as we take a look at the top 5 teams on the leaderboard so far in this short program.
And so as we mentioned in the warm-up, this team comes into this pairs discipline with such pedigree as single skaters, both finishing in very respectable positions at the Japanese national championships in the singles at senior level.
And look at the coaching staff: Mia Hamada, Bruno Marcotte, Brian Shales, and Kathy Reed. You know, dance in pairs and singles. Wow, what a team.
Same short program as last year, skating to Swan Lake. Well, what a great advert for the importance of quality skating skills, because indisputably, Sei Shimizu and Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda showcased that in comparison to all of the other teams. But also, this performance helped to increase my appreciation for the difficulty of the split twist and the throw.
Yeah, no question. You could see the strong basic skating skills from this team that has vast experience in singles and just learning the pair discipline, but really a pretty strong performance overall. 43.69 is their personal best, and they should beat that score here. We'll take a look at some of the elements and look at the posture and the stance and how they hold themselves. They certainly have the quality, total class, and that is already built into this team. And here's the twist. This doesn't get really very high. It's in at a level 3, so getting 3 out of the 4 features, not as good. Here's the throw. And this was supposed to be a triple, but there was no throw on this at all. She's essentially just did a double Salchow, and his hands were on the waist, but maybe that was planned. I don't know. There could be an injury. Don't know why that would happen. Here's the double axels. That was solid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that obviously serving to enhance their individual prowess as single skaters. This, however, of the pairs elements, comfortable level 4,
Yeah.
group 4.
He handles that very well. Good turns, nice and smooth. Change position. It's in a level 4.
I love this with the music. And their choreographer, Kathy Reed, had explained that there was a conscientious choice to repeat the program of last year to allow them the time to consolidate improvements in their pairs elements. There was no need to change program. This, I don't think this will be called.
Yeah, that was a chattering blade. It's a back outside death spiral with no value. So that will be costly as they see Brian Shales and the Kiss and Cry. As I mentioned, we're such a great coaching team between the singles and pairs. But some nice improvement in some of the elements. Unfortunate on the back outside death spiral. Let's take a look at the short program scores. 44.96. That is third in the short program so far, so that does beat their personal best. So some progress to be made on the scoreboard as we take a look at the top 5 teams so far in the pair short program.
Next to skate, representing France, Clélia Fischer-Latus, Alain Daniel Fischer.
And now to the French team, Clélia Liget-Latus and Alain Daniel Fischer. And they will skate to the music from Sarabande Suite. Well, some great aspects in the step sequence, and what I failed to mention before they started their short program is that this is their first ever competition. Never
Wow.
mind a domestic event, and the team was only formed in April, so they've had just weeks to prepare, and that isn't consistent because then Alan suffered a sprain in June, so they couldn't even train consistently from the formation of the team's
Well, that makes that
creation.
performance even more remarkable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was a great start for not having a start.
Well, you know how much
Yeah.
limited, you could probably count the number of times that they even had training time.
Yeah, even running the program.
And
Wow.
the step sequence at the end, I love the double knee slide and the butterfly. Some really good exploitation of their individual prowess.
They look pretty calm just standing there. And pretty focused as well. Let's take a look. Here's the twist. There's good split. And pretty good catch on that. Double twist in at a level 1, one of the 4 features. And here's the double axels. And this is maybe, let's see, on the quarter. And here's the difficult entry into this level 4 lift. There it is. A little slow going through the turns. But nevertheless, that's pretty good. That's being really picky considering their lack of time.
Yeah, and this was a shame. Amazing rotational position. But the fall. This was great. Absolutely loved this. Good showcasing of the change of direction. And what's great is they sit with Coach John Zimmerman in the Kiss and Cry is that John and Sylvia have acknowledged that they want to work on the longevity of the team so they
Yeah.
can produce something special.
You're
in the
building
future.
long term. And you
And-
got to build, brick by brick.
Yeah, and when you've got coaches that have competed at Olympic competition, you can trust in them that yes, this score won't be epic. Of course it won't. You've only been skating together for a matter of weeks, but your coaches are invested in you as a long-term team.
And
That's encouraging.
I suppose one of the skills that you need as skaters and as parents is patience. You need to have the patience to understand what the vision is and understand the building blocks and see those moments of, yes, this is moving in the right direction, even with a challenging skate.
Yeah.
But what's happening in practice and what they're learning is moving forward.
And I suppose if the parents aren't involved in the sport, they might not be as aware of the intricacies of it. But for us to think, well, they just showcased that in a matter of weeks when they've, that's incredible. And we know that they've got coaches who've got Olympic level experience. So for the parents, they might see a score that's lower than the rest of the teams. But for us, we think, oh no,
Hey,
they're
this-
going to come good.
This is outstanding considering the circumstances, and you have to take a look when you make an evaluation of the trajectory of a team as to the big picture. Where are they at in development? Considering that the fact this team has been off the ice for most of the time, and to do that well, that's excellent indication that this team's got a lot to build towards.
And probably also enhanced by the fact that the French Federation is supporting them. The injury that I mentioned with Alan's sprain prevented them from attending the test skate. And so the French figure skating team must have recognized, presumably through videos sent to them, that this team, they can see the potential of the team and recognize that participation here at the Junior Grand Prix would accelerate that potential that they've got.
That's a building block they needed to have.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Exactly. Experience to be gained. And even as we always talk about, the bad experiences are actually good long term. They're just bad short term. Right? Never comfortable, never enjoyable, that's for sure.
And interesting, Clelia and Coach John just analysing. I think Alan just a little bit more pensive in his thoughts.
This person, please.
Yeah, they won't be happy with this score for sure, with what they're capable of doing given time to prepare properly for the event, but still some experience will be gained here. And they still have the free program.
Clelia and Alan have earned
It's a 32.71,
72.71
and that'll put them currently into 7th place. It's not an indication of where they're going. It's just an indication of this program on this day. Okay, Mark, what's up on the video playback?
How wonderful that we have enough pair teams for an ice resurface and
Yeah.
video playback. So during this upcoming resurface, we can look back at the interview for the winners from last week's event in Riga with Zhang and Huang, and then to the comeback story from the brilliant Diana Stellato-Dudek, who, along with Maxime Deschamps, are the current and reigning world senior pairs champions. And then finally, a chance to look at the antics from backstage at last year's Junior Grand Prix in Yerevan.
And just before we go to that, to mention Diana Stellato-Dudek for sure, but Maxime, his story is just as interesting.
Absolutely.
He started late in the 30s, so that you don't see that in the story. But remember, this is a team. Here we go. Enjoy.
Jiaxuan, Yihan, congratulations on winning your first Junior Grand Prix. Now, I understand this is your first competition internationally together. That's correct?
我用说中文吗？可以。首先我很高兴可以代表我的国家来这里参赛，然后这也是我作为我们两个搭伴以来第一次的参加国际的赛事。我很开心可以来到这个地方来比赛。因为不管是这个地方的一些文化，还有这些地方的一些冰场和设施，都让我们非常的喜欢，然后这一次比赛我们发挥的还算是比较理想，
And did you have any expectations or goals coming into the competition?
我们其实来这里的第一目标就是想为国争光吧。代表我的祖国来这里嘛，第一的肯定是为国争光，第二呢就是希望有一个能拿到更好的一个名次，来证明自己吧，因为毕竟是第一次出来比赛嘛，还是希望就是能有一个很好的一个开始，起到一个很好的开头的作用。
So you've won your first competition, your first Junior Grand Prix. We're keen to know what are your goals for the rest of the season.
我觉得其实不一定说是每一场比赛都会有可能，都会百分百的会拿到第一名，所以说在每一场比赛吧，还是要去跟自己去较量，而且每一次的比赛遇到对手他也会不一样 ，it's different，所以我觉得还是要是跟自己比，然后把每一个动作都做到最好。
把我们自己的水平都发挥出来，发挥到最好的状态。
Huge congratulations. Now, can you teach me some Chinese? Maybe thank you. I can say thank you.
谢谢。
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 Did it good. Okay. 谢谢。Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And the note card I happened to pick was, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I just immediately blurted out, oh, I would win an Olympic gold medal. My name is Diana Stellato-Dudek, and I am a pair skater for Canada.
The reason Diana is so special is actually her fire, her dedication, and for her, it's Olympic every day.
I think what attracted me to figure skating in the first place was the freedom that you feel when you have the wind in your face and you're skating around the rink, and also the artistic expression, what you can do with your arms and feet while you're gliding. It's difficult to describe. It's unlike any other feeling that you can get in shoes.
Diana Stellato. She is 16 years old and perhaps the most focused of all the skaters here, the last one off the practice ice.
When I was 17 years old, I sustained a hip injury that was very common at the time. It eventually ended my childhood career, my 1.0 career.
She retired and then never come back in skating for 16 years. She didn't think about skating.
I think retiring at 17 was very difficult. You're too young to really deal with the severeness of that decision and how it's going to affect your life. I had a normal job in the States. I worked for a plastic surgeon in a small private practice, and we were at a work retreat, and we were just doing a fun little exercise over lunch where we all picked up a note card and said, read the question out loud, and then everybody around the table would answer it. And the note card I happened to pick was, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I just immediately blurted out, oh, I would win an Olympic gold medal. And then I kind of sat back in my chair and I was like, whoa. what? As everybody else was answering, I was like, what did I just say? I haven't skated in like 16 or 17 years. Like, that was a random answer. That was the catalyst that began this entire thing. So I guess I'm super lucky my mom kept those skates for all that time. I went for a first public sessions. I would get up at 4 in the morning to go skate in the morning before going to work my full-time job. And if I had a day at work that was like a 12-hour day and it was impossible for me to get on the ice, I would just make sure that evening I would do like a workout tape or I would stretch, but I would do something toward my dream every day, and I never broke the chain for 3 months.
Her dedication to the sport, to do what she do at the age she is unbelievable. She have to do so much more than other people to be able to do it. We train as much as the other younger skater, but on top of it, she have to do way more back home. She have to recover 2-3 hours a day so she can be ready for the next day. If not, it's not gonna happen. We knew the pressure would be super high being here at home, where I'm born, where we train.
When I got on the ice, I just heard the roar of the crowd and like, okay, let's breathe, we can do this. That pressure is motivation and motivation is pressure, and it's a thin line that separates them. When we got out there, I just looked at him and I said, we got this.
The crowd was so supportive, and it's give myself and Diana goosebumps as we were skating. It was something we'll remember for the rest of our life.
Winning here in Montreal was our dream. For sure, this was our dream. I just got really emotional and said, well, I fought and I gave it everything I could. And kind of one of those fairy tale stories that it still hasn't sunk in that I'm living yet. All that hard work, all those late nights, early mornings, all that pain, man, was it worth it in the end. If you can set aside some time every day and just do a little bit, you can potentially create a life for yourself beyond your wildest dreams.
So, ready for the last game, Mark?
I'm ready.
Let's go! Oh, that was awful. Let's go. That was pathetic.
The following skaters may now take the ice for their warm-up. From Slovakia, Laura Hečková and Alex Balkan. From Spain, Inés Mudev and Alejandro.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ostrava, Czech Republic, day number 1 of competition, junior pairs short program. Group number 3 takes to the ice. Group 3 of 4. Be 4 teams on the ice for both of these warm-ups, which is a little bit more challenging. Some of the earlier groups had only 3. There's lots of real estate, of course, but this is a bit tighter, Mark.
Yes, but my understanding is that the pairs teams are all very respectful of the patterns and the prep for split twist lift or the prep for the group 4 lift that is necessary in this short program tends to be fairly conventional in its pattern, and thus the skaters are all a bit more attuned to each other's patterns, unlike the ice dancers.
We've often talked about that. The ice dancers are very consumed with each other, number 1. Number 2, their patterns are very unpredictable with the deep curves. And here, most of these elements are prepared length of the rink, straight down one side or diagonal, so it's easy to read.
And also, you would not want to get in the way of a split twist or a throw. So maybe that's inbuilt in the psyche of the pair teams.
If you get in the way of a twizzle, that's still bad.
It's still pretty bad.
It's horrible. Okay, do we have any questions coming in?
Yes, we do. Thank you to those that have sent in their questions to the International Skating Union on Instagram. One of the questions, which is a very interesting one, from at ADHD Luna. How old is too old for starting professional skating?
Professional as in ice shows?
Yeah, I think so. And it's actually...
Well, the world champion's 40 years old, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, interestingly, currently I actually know of a friend of mine in the UK who's holding a showgirl camp, and so that's a really popular sort of skating clinic for those that want to become show skaters.
Oh, like in Disney or
Holiday Nights or any of these big productions.
Okay, good.
And certainly I've known as a coach, of course there are a whole lot of facets for different coaches, but there have been a couple of students that I've taught with a very clear objective that they wanted to become worthy of passing an audition for one of these big companies. And although it's amazing to see these feats here, there's another entire world of ice skating for those that travel the world performing in shows.
Yeah, so you didn't answer the question.
Oh, how old is too old?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's any age that's too old. I heard another.
Well, maybe 80 might be a little bit too
80 might be, yeah, maybe. Well, last week we saw one of the coaches who's doubling up as a coach here also performs, Craig Heath, who was coaching one of the skaters from Hong Kong, who at the tender age of 57 is still performing in the show.
Still doing
world.
double axels, that's right.
Still doing double axels. So, I mean, not for me, but to still be doing double axel at 57, but kudos to anybody that's brave enough to do so.
Okay.
Next question from at Cheyenne_Sadai. What do you think about skaters from nations that are not known for winter sports?
Well, I love it. I think it's great. It's the way the sport will grow around the world. We've always counted on the main nations, in North America and in Europe that traditionally have had skating in their history. But when we see we're going to have skaters, I think next week we have Uruguay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got a whole list of them here as well. The United Arab Emirates. They've been before competing. South Africa, of course. We've had Chilean skaters from Mongolia, I think, next week as well. So it's great because, and a lot of these skaters actually now, as we talked about a little earlier, actually are training in their country. There might be only one rink, but they're training in that.
Well, yeah, in the men's event today, we had the Brazilian representative and the Malaysian representative, and actually it was interesting then following the social media of the ice rinks, and one of the ice rink in Malaysia acknowledging their vision for taking winter sports to a tropical location. And I think we're pro advocates for ice skating. Almost anybody that shares our sport tends to fall in love with it. There seems to be an intoxicating aspect of ice skating and figure skating, and so if that can be popular in any increased participation, then we are all for it.
Well, the sport is old for some countries, and it's brand new for others. And we've had people write into us on the Junior Grand Prix saying, I've never seen this sport before. I've never been at a rink, never had a pair of skates, don't even know what they look like. But I found this on YouTube, and now I follow figure skating in the Olympic Games. So it's being discovered because it's exposed out there. So now we see rinks being built in different parts of the world, of course, and that's really exciting.
And, you know, we've been having some wonderful chats with the incredible social media team that we share the media room with, and they were talking about now this current climate of social media and how there are different sports or different competitions which attract attention through TikTok and Instagram and such like. And I think perhaps for the tropical countries, anybody that's then seeing ice skating, it brings the novelty that perhaps Canadians or Brits that are more familiar with the sport would not receive.
In North America, in my country of Canada, soccer was never big. Now it's really huge, and skating is still big numbers, right? So maybe in those other countries, we're going to reverse this. Skating is going to be brand new, and soccer is going to be old.
So who knows? How amazing it would be.
I doubt it, but
yeah, we've
it's a good try.
Some nations, you know, recently say, for instance, Adam Hagara, Slovakia's, I think, first medal at Junior World Championships this past year.
Yes.
How long will it take for perhaps Brazil or Malaysia to have a world medal?
There you go.
That would be something exciting.
Yeah, and trained at home.
Oh, even more.
That'd be a big difference, yeah. And actually, that young man from Brazil, he had very good technique. This was not the issue. But he skates on a rink that is 1/3 of the end of the rink, the blue line, to the board. So how could he skate with speed? He can't, right? So, and yet he was quite good.
Yes.
So we'll see. Let's investors out there, please build bigger full-size NHL rinks or Olympic rinks.
Actually, on that note, we were joking with coaches last night that suggested that we try to encourage that we speak out in our broadcast to those trying to. And you got that memo. I didn't think you were part of that conversation. Yes, investors, build more rinks.
Yeah. No, I didn't get the message. I just made that one up. Here we go. Group number 3.
And now to the youngest team in the competition, 13-year-old Laura Hegova and 14-year-old Alex Avalki.
And they look wonderful already with beautiful body lines, well-matched team, and 14 and 13 years of age. They have a bright future here in juniors before they even move on to senior.
Well, what a fabulous debut for Laura Hikova and Alex Vaki from Slovakia, a team that their coaches had indicated to me in discussion that this was a team to watch, but that has certainly cemented that. Every coach is confident and proud to talk about their students, but this has been absolutely backed up.
This has now been authorized.
Yes, yes.
Is ready to watch. Holy moly. I've got to say, the basics, the posture, the body line. She's 13 and he is 14. You might see a 13 and 17 or 18, but this team is very young and extremely well trained.
And actually that bow as they left the ice towards their coach shows their gratitude and respect that even is more admirable perhaps than what they showcased.
And they were very calm as well. There's the twist, good height, good catch. This is in at a level 4 for double twist level 4, plus GOE, a little bit of a minus GOE. Here's the double axles. They seem to whip this off no problem for such a young team. There's a pickup on the level 4 lift, reverse turn, and then back the other way, which is not easy, into a platter. So this is a level 4, group 4 lift, the plus GOE. So every one of their elements has good quality and difficulty as well. Here's throw double Sacco. They're probably not into the triple yet, although we may see that in the free program. And this back outside death bar, probably the best of the competition so far. Watch the anchor pivot right now. So that is going to be 1 revolution now. And this is in at a back outside death bar level 2, which most have been level 1 to this point.
Actually, many haven't had it called, and that's an indication that the women's head never reaches the level of her skating knee, and yet Laura had really great position. And coaches had explained that they've recently moved to Bergamo, the family moved to Bergamo, and not only are they invested in their skating education, but every day they're coming to the rink with new Italian phrases as they embrace their new training location.
Wow, that's an exciting young team, no question.
And they're shaping heart, so we're even more gratitude to them.
We'll see what their score is. The top score is 49.84, and they would need over 45 to take second so far. We'll see what score comes in, but no question they have a very, very bright future, great foundation. They have a 45.23, and that will put Laura and Alex currently into second place. Coach and team, a good reaction to that score.
Yes.
And there it is, the leaderboard top 5 so far in the competition.
Well, Adam Hagara leads the men. Slovakia having a good day.
Yeah, very good day.
On the ice, representing Spain, Inés Muden and Alejandro Lázaro Garcia.
And now to Inés Muden and Alejandro Lázaro Garcia. This is their short program inspired by A Princess and a Prince with music from the Bridgerton series. And Zmuden and Alejandro Lazaro Garcia from Spain. She is entering her final year of high school. Alejandro entering into his third year of study as a pharmacy student. And a team that supported ringside here, we can see, but have to chase some of their training experiences. Their regular rink closes in the summer, and they spent part of the summer in Oberstdorf with Robin Solkovic.
And Alejandro had a little bit of problem with that flip. We'll take a look. It was weird. It was like a missed pick or something, but we'll take a look at that in just a moment.
And here, good storytelling.
Yeah, very nice. And the double twist in level 2. Here's the flip. Let's slow this right down and see what happens for Alejandro. Oh yeah, the pick slipped.
Scary.
You can see it didn't launch him in the air at all. He stayed on his feet. That's good. Here's the group 4 lift and the hand going up. Reverse rotation. Stop that rotation. Go back the other direction. That is not easy to do. And this lift comes in at a level 3. So missing one feature. And here's the throw double Salchow. No problem there. Nicely done.
And they actually, as you see their closing position, both partners in this team. Yes. Oh no, come on, Ennis. You've got to get the. Oh, there you go. Oh, even more fancy.
Have you been sending instructions or what?
I don't know. I think we're now laying the foundations for who can make the greatest heart shape.
Or the most.
Or the most, actually. Well, this Spanish team is definitely winning that.
Okay.
But both partners in this partnership do have wonderful expressive capabilities, and both seem to embrace the concept of theme. They mentioned, obviously, this was inspired by a princess and a prince. Their free program is inspired by a circus doll, so they're obviously both skaters that embrace the artistic, aesthetic sides of the sport, whilst obviously tackling arguably the most athletically challenging discipline.
Yeah, and you know, when you have a love of one side, technical or creative, you tend to learn that first. 33.41, and that'll put this team currently into 8th place.
Well, it was a Chinese team who won the first stop on the Junior Grand Prix in Riga, Latvia last week. Now to the 13-year-old Zhangji Zhang and 16-year-old Wenkang Feng.
And that team last week were so surprising. We'll see what we have here right now.
That's lovely to see that reaction. Zhang and Huang won last week, but this team of Zhang and Feng are significantly younger, and yet they have possessed similar quality.
Watch out, world.
Yes.
Next
generation.
Pair skating in China is just getting some depth here and some quality on everything. I mean, lots of growth yet to come here, but you can clearly see this country and this discipline, they're on a mission.
And it was interesting because there's been a changing of the guard in regard to the coaching of Chinese pair skating, and I didn't know if that would see a drop off in the quality, and yet Yang Ding and the combination of Wenjing Sui, the Olympic champion as choreographer, has certainly showcased this season in the first 2 Grand Prix events in the juniors some greatness.
There's the twist, triple twist, good catch. This is in a level 2, so missing 2 out of the 4 features, but good.
I think it's the first
GOE.
triple twist we've seen as well.
Yeah, I think there was one others actually. And here's the double axles. Maybe, let's see, it's clean in the system, so that's good. Throw triple sacco. Now this is just launching her across the ice, backing out beautifully in the air, but plenty of time to come back to the ice. And back outside Desparo, this is good. The anchor starts right there, and he's going to get around 2 times in this back outside Desparo, which is the hardest, not the hardest, but maybe the second hardest in the Desparo grouping. There's the pickup, difficult entry into the group 4 lift. The change of position, good flow across throughout these turns here. You're watching in slow motion. That change of position and the release on the hold was very quick. That's in the level 4 with the plus GOE is 0.73. So all these elements are in the pluses for the GOE. So the quality of each element, a little fist pump there.
Yeah.
The quality of each element adding to the base value of the score. We're going to see a pretty good score here. We're going to see the leaders. This will take over the lead.
And interestingly, in regards to the comparison in ages between this team and the winners last week, there are 10 years of
Difference.
less age in this team, and yet last week the Chinese winners had a 54.21 in the short.
And this will be a 54.14, so just shy of their compatriots in Riga, but as they take over the lead, they're thrilled. Oh, what's more to come? We have 2 more events on the Junior Grand Prix that will have pair skating in it. What will we see then?
Yeah, exciting. I love that reaction.
Yeah, terrific.
On the ice, representing Italy, Paulina Portland and Gabriella Rinaldi.
And now to the Italian team, Paulina Pohlmann and Gabriele Rinaldi. I'm very happy. Polina Palman greets her partner Gabriele Rinaldi as the Italian team finish their short program. I've not known Pink Floyd and James Brown as a combination of music for our program before, but the second part particularly suited the team.
You have to, admit the Italian Federation's done a great job at developing all the disciplines. They're strong in dance, strong in pairs, and pretty strong in both women and in men's as well, with some good depth.
Yeah, interesting also to consider what the coaching structure is in the rink there in Bergamo as we look at the split triple twist. Just a little tight on the landing there.
The double axels, good save on this. It's the free leg back. Well done. And here's the throw triple salchow. Nice.
And the smile to greet.
And the scoop 4 lift. There's a pick up the change of feet on the first part of the lift just to get ready for the turns. You can see pretty good turns, not a lot of flow there. Slowing down, hitting the toe picks maybe a little bit at the end. And that's sort of a cute part of the step sequence here.
And I think with a little more mileage, you could tell what the intention was musically with each of the aspects of the James Brown music. Didn't hit all of them because the elements take priority, but as the program develops, even in the side-by-side combo, I think they'll be able to accentuate the music even more.
You didn't notice I picked up the shoulder shimmy?
I thought, hey, Ted, what's a shoulder shimmy?
It worked right. It worked right with the music. You don't see that in the replays, though.
Do you know, it's interesting, I discovered that Polina had to have a Kevlar shield put on a boot to protect her foot because she kept stabbing her landing foot with the free foot on the exit of some of the throws, and
oh wow,
that commonplace.
Short program scores. Now their personal best is 39.07. They'll beat that here by probably quite a bit. There it is, 49.28. That's a big score with a big whoa
good
from Polina, and that'll put this team currently into third place. Sort of, kind of a high five there. He was low, she was high, but they're pleased with that score. That's for sure.
Overzealous to escape the kiss and cry. Excited.
Yeah. Great job.
The following skaters will now take the ice for their warm-up. From Canada, Julia Quattrocchi and Simon Desmarais. From Germany,
and now the final 4 teams in this pair short program take to the ice. The leaders of the 11 teams that have competed so far, Zhang and Feng. And it remains to be seen whether or not the Chinese team will maintain the lead. That would make it a really impressive outing for Chinese pair team based on the win last week in Riga. We urge you now to continue sending any questions that you may have to the International Skating Union on their social media channel. Questions coming in from @haha, I'm spying on you. How do you center your spins? And a well-centered spin, for those of you that are not familiar with the term, a centered spin dictates that the spin stays in one spot. And that is largely based upon the entry edge and the ability for the skater to maintain their balance point on the same part of the blade. All too often the skaters, when spinning, the spin will continue to travel, and sometimes those of you watching sport will notice, dependent upon the camera angle of the skater's relationship to the advertising on the barriers as to whether or not there is travel, that will have an impact on their technical element score. But the skaters, the best skaters in the world, will maintain their weight on the same part of the blade. The world record for the most rotations on a spin, I think, is 113 rotations by Lucinda Roux, who is, if you've not seen her and you're not familiar with her work, definitely worth checking out on YouTube.
Whoa, that's a lot of rotations.
That's a lot. It's 107, it's 113, but it's over 100 rotations. She did that in a backspin in the Rockefeller Center, and it's just quite incredible. And Swiss spinners renowned. There was a Natalie Krieg before that. She was...
And of course Denise Bielman as well.
Yeah, Denise Bielman, the 1981 world champion, the creator of the famous spin. And then in the men's event, Stéphane Lambiel was renowned for the speed of his spins as well.
You know, it was interesting. A lot of people said that the spins came through not much ice. So there's so many people on the ice, they have to, pardon me, work a skill in the corner of the rink. And of course, spins was the easiest place to take a smaller piece of the ice to work on. And so much work, bears fruit.
And this year, we've discussed a little bit in Riga, and not so much today, just the acknowledgement that the fact this season, the skaters have been required to use different features to attain the maximum level 4, and the big factor this year is that there can only be 2 difficult variations of position in any one spin, and that's why you're seeing perhaps not the same quality of spinning at this stage of the season.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the judging system was built because when skaters master, which in ice dance has happened, all the level 4s, then how do you make the level 4 more difficult? And you can change the features or reduce some of the features to be used in other spins, as you just spoken about. And so they're trying to find ways so that not everyone is just running level 4.
Oh, and this is what's so amazing, Ted.
Wow.
We've got Teresa on the ISU team telling us the most figure skating sit spin rotations in 1 minute is 99, and that was achieved by Selena Lynn in Ann Arbor, Michigan on 27th of December, 2019. I think...
Who was it by? Selena?
Selena Lynn from the United States of America.
Wow.
Oh, and the rotational speed. Oh, I didn't know this one. 342 rotations per minute. That was the fastest speed achieved by Guinness World Record holder Olivia Oliver from Canada.
And Ronnie Robertson was one of the...
You know what? He was probably faster, but they just couldn't measure it.
Yeah. I think he did 9 revolutions in a second. I think that's what was measured by NASA, in fact.
Wow.
This was back in the late 50s or 60s. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, that's really fast. That's like eyeballs popping out of your head.
So that would be
fast.
Would that be like 540 per minute?
I don't know, maybe it was 2 seconds. I don't know, but it was really fast. Teresa will check it out. But
yeah,
Ronnie,
sorry, Teresa.
Check out the name Ronnie Robertson on YouTube, and you'll see some amazing spins as well. That was back in the 50s or 60s.
Talking of Ronnie Robertson in the 50s and 60s, I'm pretty sure that I've seen a triple axel landed.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it by him?
Yes.
Ronnie Robertson, but it was never ratified by competition. It was just done in an outdoor rink.
No, exactly. I mean, people were just experimenting on what they could do. I mean, Dick Button was one of the great jumpers of all time, really. And, he did a triple loop back in the day, and people go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Okay, what's the value? Well, there was,
no tangible value.
No tangible value, right? So they were just breaking new barriers, like the skaters are now. But the barriers, like the raspberry, that's a barrier.
Yes.
Like, okay, there's no value to that, but it's just like amazing that you can go lateral to the ice and flip around and land and then keep going. It's pretty crazy.
Triple axel was Vern Taylor, 1978, ratified.
1978, Ottawa, ratified. He had to do a 3-turn on the way out. He didn't get the free leg back, but it was all the way around, although they didn't have replay like we do now. But it was ratified by the ISU as the first triple axel land in the competition.
And then the first quadruple jump landed by Kurt Browning.
Kurt Browning, yeah, he did that in 1988. But that was in Budapest, not at the Olympic Games in Calgary. It was the World Championships following that Olympic Games.
And then I know Shoma Uno, the 2-time world champion from Japan, was the first to do quad flip. Quad lutz was by Brandon Rose, skater from the United States of America.
I didn't know that. Are you making that up?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one.
Whenever your voice goes that high, I'm a little not convinced that that you're really that sure. Okay, here we go. Final group in the pairs short program, the second event here on day 1 in Ostrava. The women's short program coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Or tonight, I guess it is.
And the next team to take to the ice to open this group, Giulia Quattrocchi and Simon Desmarais. And interestingly, Simon wanted to stop skating as a single skater, but their coach, Annie Barab, encouraged him to try pairs. And this team both immediately fell in love with the discipline. Julia Quattrocchi and Simone Desmarais from Canada complete their short program.
You know, this is an interesting team. It's actually a very good team that made a lot of little mistakes, or a number of little mistakes in this program. And so it was hard to see the qualities when there's little step outs and things like that. But what a wonderful split on that twist. That was amazing. It is in level 2. We'll take a look at that. Probably the best split that we've seen in this competition anyways. Powerful. I think they've got some pretty good single skills as well, and kind of an attitude on the ice, which is good.
Yeah,
you
music
know?
was
Here's the twist.
appropriate.
Let's slow this way down. Look at this split.
Wow.
That is huge. And there's the triple twist. A little bit of a problem on the landing there. Thus the level 2. And the double axles here. We'll see what happens. Good technique on the takeoff, and not all the way around for Julia. And
this position from her, the strength and range of movement, while still smiling.
Yeah, and look, good flow across the ice, nice turns. There's the change of position, difficult variation, and this comes in obviously at, well, actually a level 3, so they're missing one feature. There's the throw triple salka outside the circle. Doesn't go down, saves the throw, but costly.
But after they formed this partnership, having neither of them done pairs before, they did suffer quite a lot of injuries, but their goal was to compete internationally. And so being here makes them incredibly happy and motivates them to continue working hard. But what I think is almost most wondrous about this is their coach, Stephanie Valois, said to me that she wants her pairs, who she's passionate about the development of the discipline, to be developed as good humans with communication, respect, work ethic, and empathy. And I thought that if I was a parent, I would be sending my child to a coach who values that as much as the success of the athlete.
Well, the interesting thing, she's able to verbalize that in a beautiful way. I mean, that's there's no question. I think there's a lot of coaches that want that, maybe not verbalize that.
Yes.
She certainly does. But this team has a lot of potential. The long ways to go here, but it's a really good start. And they're under wonderful guidance, of course, with Stephanie.
I think Julia she knows that it's not going to be what they're capable of.
45.60, that is 4th in the short program. They probably gave away a good 6 points in, or if not more, so they would have been significantly higher. They're still less than 4 points off of the 3rd place, but we still have a few teams to come, 3 more to come.
On the ice, representing Germany, Katarina Salatsky and Lucas President.
And another team that competed in Riga, Latvia last week, Katlin, Jana Salatsky and Lukas Rosseler.
And they will skate to paint it black.
Good to see the connection between Katalin Salatsky and Lukas Rosler following their short program, and we've seen varying reactions to the back-to-back competitions for the skaters in both the men's event earlier today and this pairs competition.
You know, Mark, I think if you're vying to be in the top 6 and try to make the Grand Prix final, it may not be your best interest. If you're working to get the experience, being back-to-back isn't bad because you're completely absorbed in the competitive world, and so maybe, you know, but that's just a guess.
And I suppose for the pairs, because there are only 4 of the 7 events with the pairs category, there are less opportunities to separate their assignments, as we see a mistake for Lukas
Exactly.
on the deluxe.
Watch the split. This is another really good split here. Even good flight and over rotation. So she was already turning to go into the 4th rotation. He tried to catch her, and that was didn't have the hips, didn't have the waist, of course, and that was more difficult. Here's the throw, triple Salchow. 2-foot landing, just again over rotation a little bit. You need to check that out earlier. Not easy.
Maybe some adrenaline and some eagerness, adding that little bit too much for Katalin Janet.
Grabs the blade and she's looking up the difficult position, change of hold. Pretty good lift. That's in at a level 4, of course, with a plus GOE.
And it's interesting because with this team, I feel like I know that they will go on to compete in senior events within this very season, but I really do feel like they have a senior look, and yet, from a program components perspective, thus far in the 2 events that they have done, they haven't had great success.
They have moments that they look like senior,
They really
and moments
do.
they look like junior.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing to look like junior. I mean, but they've got moments like, whoa, this is a more mature team, it's good, and then it slips back a little bit. But that's part of the process.
The scores, please. Katalin Salatsky and Lukas Rosler.
Short program score 40.85 for Caitlin and Luca. That will put them currently into 9th place.
On the ice, representing the United States.
Heavy sigh, deep breath for Sea Carpenter and Ignacio Maravilla. A new team that just teamed up in March of 2021, and then when their coach retired, they separated, but reformed in 2023. And now here in their first Junior Grand Prix. dynamic end to the short program for Saya Carpenter and Ignacio Maravilla.
Kind of an interesting team. They've got moments of really power and even, like the last time, a little bit of senior moments. And then there's some, still developing aspects of the program.
Yes. I think Patrick Blackwell there, another member of the United States entourage here in Ostrava, just cheering on Saya and Ignacio.
Wonderful stoic posture and focus at the top of the program, setting the stage and the story.
And interesting to see Pasquale Carmelengo and Joe Buckland working on the choreography, sense that ice dancer input, particularly at the start.
There's the split, doesn't go particularly high. This is in at a level 1, so 1 out of the 4 features. Here's the throw triple salchow. Hand goes down, that's going to be a minus GOE. And then the double axels, that look great until the landing. Free leg.
Such a shame because it was so perfectly pitched with the music as well.
Yeah. And there's that group 4 lift. Just a little rocky through the turns here. And it is level 3, so missing one of the features.
And as we see them work through the combination of turns to close out the step sequence, interesting because when I watch the team individually in their own respective social media, I've seen her land a lovely triple loop on her Instagram. I've seen him do triple triple and triple loop. So individually both very strong, but there's no disputing the time taken to be consistent and competitive with the pairs elements. And like I said, they teamed up in March and then their coach retired and then back in 2023. So really not together for that long. And now working with Garrett Lukash, who former American champion with Katie Orsher, and Yuka Sato, world champion, part of their coaching staff.
Where you can tell there's 43.39 for Saya and Ignacio, and that'll put them currently in 8th place. And you can tell with Saya, she can do those jumps. You can see a triple loop coming over easily because that double axel was beautiful just to slip on the takeoff. So they got great individual solo technique that's good to build on, and a few nice pair elements as well.
On the ice, representing Israel, Sofia Nikina and Nikita Kovalenko.
Again, another team relatively new to the pairs discipline. Nikita did singles till the end of 2022. Fascinating story about this team and Junior World Championships. We'll discuss that beyond the event. But in the meantime, Sofia and Kina and Nikita Kovalenko ready to start their short program. Very impressive speed and synchronicity and aspects of that final change foot combination spin for Sofia and Nikita Kovalenko.
I'm glad I actually took that replay because I haven't taken a side-by-side combination spin all event long.
Yeah.
This looks might be good.
This was really good.
We'll
and
take a look at that.
So rare to see a well synced up combo spin, especially in juniors.
It's very, very difficult to do that. They can both spin individually very well, but any one of the teams, one slight wobble puts maybe them slower than the other, and then it's hard to pick up speed, and there's all sorts of ways to adjust, but
especially
it's a very
difficult to do when so fast.
Yeah. Here is the twist. There's really not much of a twist there and a bad catch, so this is a level 1 triple twist. And here in the double axles. And they are granted clearance in the judging system. That's good. Here's the throw, triple sow cow. And this didn't really peak and couldn't get the free leg back out in time. Not enough time to check out. There's a group 4 lift. This is slow and a little bit wobbly. I think that, this is the one element that is less quality at this stage of their development. A little bit of a struggle, yeah.
Yeah, but here, the best element, or the best change foot combination spin, I think, of any that we have seen, including the leaders at this stage. Although that said, it's been given a V, so it hasn't achieved camel sit and upright.
Okay, just talking about the synchronicity, that's all.
Synchronicity was good.
Yeah.
And maybe one of the few, if not the only one, with a positive grade of execution.
Yeah.
Joined by Evgeny Krasnopolsky, who I foolishly mistook him for Alexei Bychenko when he was with the Tamir Cooperman in the men's event, so I apologize, Evgeny, for that.
45.83 is their personal best. They're going to fall a little bit short on that here. I look a little bit worried or maybe not pleased with the program. 42.46 for Sofia and Nikita. They're expecting more of themselves and the score as well. That'll put them currently in 10th place. Well, that concludes the pairs short program. Final thoughts, Mark?
Well, although not ultimately the cleanest of skates for many of the teams, it was good to see participation from 15 different teams from 13 skating nations. That is the takeaway positive aspect for the pairs discipline.
I still think the depth is a little stronger than the last couple of years. As we look at the scores here, 49, 49, 45, 45, 45, 44, 43. I mean, this is ever so close. Lots can and probably will happen in the free program. That will go tomorrow as 2 events go to the medal podiums, both the men's and the pairs, of course. So as we take a short break, the women's short program will come up in just a little while, about 30 minutes from now. Hopefully you'll join us. For all of us here at the ISU, from Mark Hanratty, Ted Barton, thank you for watching. We'll be back with the women's short.